You know, when it's, this is Cheryl. I'm at the Black Cat.
Are you videotaping?
And
I'm very excited.
Are you excited?
You're a good liar, but thank you.
This looks like your hero. Now we have to find Mark Thompson. Can I get anyone else a bottle of water or anything? Someone wanted, I heard that back in that day. You wouldn't want me running off the stage. I wouldn't, you're right. You're right.
You were saying, sir.
It was nice, yeah, that's where I was.
this is Cheryl at the Black Cat on February 11th. And the program is not started yet. See here. Why don't you tell me how you're connected to the Black Cat? And your name again, please?
I'm Alexei Romanov, and 42 years ago to this day, I was in the demonstration that happened here at the Black Cat because of the raid that happened on New Year's Eve and the raid that happened at the New Faces, where they damaged a woman because they thought she was a cross-dresser.
Oh my God.
At the time.
So you were a witness to all of that?
Excuse me?
You were a witness to that?
No, I wasn't a witness to that, but she ended up in the hospital, and she had been a friend of mine.
Oh.
So, and this is, I was in the demonstration here 42 years ago, so we got it together.
Wow, great.
And it was 2.5 years before Stonewall, not to put less emphasis on Stonewall, but it was the largest demonstration in the nation at that time for human rights.
I see.
We had 400 to 600 people showed up for that. We were in danger at the time. If our picture was in the paper, we would lose our jobs. If we would lose our homes, and we would be alienated from our families just for being gay at the time.
Did you become an activist after that?
No, I was an activist before that, but that was one of the things that encouraged me. You know?
Do you live in Silver Lake now?
No, I don't. I live in Pasadena now, but my heart remains here because I was a young man here. I'm 72 now.
Oh, I see. Wow.
And I was here for that demonstration, and I'm still here, which a lot of our community is not, and I want to honor them.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Why don't you say your name?
Joe Becerra.
And
David Edward Berg.
and why are you here tonight?
We're here to support Stewart and all. We're here to support Stewart and all of his good works in making this happen.
Right. Great.
We love him and we miss him and we want him to know that he's represented.
Great.
He's one of our oldest
Yeah, okay. Great. Thank you very much. Well, oh, there we go. Can you tell me your name, Wes?
Wes Joe.
And why are you here?
I was one of the people who helped get the Black Cat site designated as a city historic cultural monument.
How did you do that?
Oh, it involves a tremendous amount. It involved 4 public hearings and a vote by the city council, research into the historic significance of the site. It was actually a lot of fun.
Oh, good. What's going to happen now?
We're going to have celebrate 4 veterans of the LGBT rights movement. Alexei Romanov, who was at the protests at the Black Cat in February of 1967. Lee Glaze, owner of the Patch, which was raided in August of '68. And Lillian Faderman and Stuart Timmons, co-authors of Gay LA. Unfortunately, Stuart cannot be here tonight, and Mark Thompson will be accepting on a city certificate on Stuart's behalf.
Good. Well, thanks for all your work, Wes.
Thank you.
Y'all know what Black Cat's about? Y'all know what Black Cat's about? No! Well, you're going to find out all night long. We have about a 6-hour program. So we ask you to sit back and relax and enjoy yourselves. So really, wait, can I get you guys' attention? Really, this program will be short. But beyond, I want you to take a moment and recognize something. That just a few weeks ago, we were told by the voters of California that we're not equal. that in spite of what we as a nation were promised over 200 years ago, that all people will be treated equally. The voters of California said all but us. So tonight, we are taking a time out to remember a time 40 plus years ago that our rights were limited again. That just because we were out at a club, celebrating our lives and being who we are, we were told that we couldn't do that. So if there's any doubt that we don't relate to what happened 42 years ago tonight, just know a few months ago it happened again. This is your history in this club. It's not about a nightclub. It's not about a club in itself. That this is a moment in your and our history that we need to celebrate. All right? All right. So, to begin our program, we have representing the Black Cat Committee. I want to be part of the Black Cat Committee. No? Okay, Black Cat Committee, West Joe. Give it up for Joe. Come on, give it up for Joe.
Everybody, thank you all for coming. You know, this is the 40th anniversary of the Stonewall riots this year. But the reason the Black Cat's important is it did happen 2 years before that. Exactly 42 years ago, this night, we had up to 600 people walking back and forth in front of this bar, holding a rally in the parking lot where some of you may have parked. On January 1st of that night, we had a police raid. Men were arrested simply for exchanging a New Year's kiss, then convicted as sex offenders. They had to register for the rest of their lives. We had 2 bartenders dragged over that bar, the same bar that's sitting over there. You had the 14 people who were arrested at the Black Cat dragged down this floor, exactly the same floor that you're standing on right now. We had 2 people beaten at the New Faces bar down the street where Circus of Books is. So thank you all for coming out and recognizing that. I'm really just going to say a few thank yous. Thank you to Le Barcito for hosting us. Thank you to Christopher Street West for putting on a great event. The city doesn't make designating a monument that easy. We had to go through like 4 public hearings and do a report saying it's important. It's important. It affects your property rights. So all of that is called for. But I want to thank some people. Endorsing organizations including the Silver Lake Improvement Association, Silver Lake Residents Association, the LA Conservancy, MCC, Regent Media, and the Center. I want to thank 2 of those who are actually going to speak tonight and wrote letters of support. Authors Mark Thompson and Lillian Faderman. All right. Yay! Also some donors and supporters, many of them my neighbors. Jim Shippey, Robin Podolsky, author of a play, The Pursuit of Happiness, which was at the Celebration Theater about 25 years ago. The first scene of that play was the Black Cat protest, and it's probably why subconsciously I knew about this place. Vincent Brooke, Luis Lopez, Kurt Rademacher, Shelley Marks, Vivian Escalante, Gail Jaffe, Andrew Sears, Lenny Fleming, Vigo, Bob Herzog, Patricia McGrath, and Diane Edwardson. And thanks, of course, to Alexei Romanov and Lee Glaze, who you'll also hear from later. They're going to share their memories. And last but not least, I want to thank my partner of 26 years. Without him, I could not have done this. Recently, before the deadline, my spouse, Avram Chill. Thank you.
So Wes did all the thank yous for everybody, but I want to give it up for Wes one more time because it was his leadership and his shepherding this through that made tonight so possible. So thank you. That there's a lot And we're going to bring up two right now. And one of them, we love him so much. He founded MCC. He founded Christopher Street West. I think he's the reverend to all of us, regardless of our faith and our beliefs. And that is Reverend Troy Perry. Reverend Troy Perry. And we're also bringing up the senior pastor of MCC LA, my friend and our leader of our community, Reverend Neil Thomas.
Why a bar? Because they were the first institutions in the GLBT community. It was the first institution as a young gay man that I visited. My first gay bar in Los Angeles proper was the Red Raven in Hollywood. They had some other old people who were there. They had signs in their rooms that said, "Don't talk to strangers." And I remember that when I went in, I wondered, how do you meet anybody? I don't know anybody here. But they had those up because the owners were afraid that the police would come into their business and that you might talk to one of them and be arrested. Early bartenders served as psychiatrists, marriage counselors, and friends. And yet it was the bars that first felt the wrath of the police in the city of Los Angeles. A friend, Glenn, from Impact Stories, bought photographs for me to look at from the archives of the Los Angeles Public Library this last week. Photographs the Los Angeles Police Department had given to the library of their arrest of homosexuals in the 50s and the early 60s. On the back of almost all of them, all of these photographs
Put our photographer in
were
front of us
signed
doing it
by
for
the
documentary.
police. Fairies.
Step over here for a second.
Each and every photograph. And yet I thank God tonight we have a change. Thank God for the two police officers who are here that Chief Bratton has sent to be a part of our celebration tonight.
Shove it under the...
No wonder in 1967 the patrons of the Black Cat Bar conducted the first demonstration in Los Angeles to protest the arrest of members of the GLBT community and their heterosexual friends. I was serving in the U.S. military when the raid took place. I didn't hear about the Black Cat raid until Jim Kepner, one of our community's historians, started attending Metropolitan Community Church in 1969 and told me the story of the Black Cat demonstration. And so here we are tonight, 42 years later, dedicating this memorial to people who stood up for us and all of our rights that night. I want to thank not only Jim Kepner, who is deceased, but also Lillian Stewart for telling the story of this incredible action in their book, Gay Los Angeles. I also want to thank the city of Los Angeles for naming this spot as Historically Cultural Monument number 939 and for taking our history as serious as those of our neighbors. Thank you tonight. Thank you, one last thing. Many of us are going to be at the Beverly Hills Courthouse tomorrow. We're still, Friday, pardon me, not tomorrow, Friday, but jumping the gun here. Friday, we hope a lot of you here tonight will come there 10 a.m. and we're going to have a great time over there again. It's not over until the Fat Angel sings. We're still going to win our struggle and our fight. Thank you tonight.
Thank you, Reverend Troy and Reverend Neil. So, you know, this city is filled with elected officials. Yeah?
Yes.
And some really good ones. But we've got an elected official in Los Angeles that represents this district that not only is probably one of the best looking council members in Los Angeles, isn't he?
Yes.
the president of the LA City Council. But beyond that, he is such a strong advocate on our issues. Yeah. That every time we come to him, come on. Every time that we call upon Eric Garcetti and ask him for help in our community, it is not, well, let me see. It's like, let me see, I'm doing it. It's not, he doesn't wait for us to call, he shows up for us. He's more than an elected official in Los Angeles. He is our friend, he is our advocate, and I hope someday maybe our governor, or our president, or our senator. We don't want to lose them out of city council, but there are term limits, unfortunately. Ladies and gentlemen, our city council member and the president of the LA City Council, Eric Garcetti.
How's everybody doing? What a night. This is sacred land here.
Yeah, you're right.
When you think about America and our history, you think about places like Selma, and you think about places like Seneca Falls. And now we add another S to that, Silver Lake. Right here, this isn't just sacred territory for the community. This is sacred land for America and for the world. Because every single time that somebody stands up for dignity and for themselves, and we trace back, not when it's difficult now, but when it was so excruciatingly difficult to do that, those people are not just heroes, they're saints. So we come to commemorate, to consecrate this land tonight. And I want to first start by thanking West Joe, who's a constituent of mine, somebody who I've worked with on so many things. And when I heard about this moving forward, of course it had my support, but it also, as he explained, winds its way through kind of city bureaucracy, which is not always the easiest thing to do. But through his tenacity and through the vision of so many of you people, we're here tonight to be able to celebrate something that is not just great for Los Angeles, but great for educating another generation. And in the midst of struggle, needs that more than any other moment that we've had in probably 10 or 15 years. I want to thank some very special people that are here. I want to say very specifically the names of the police officers that are here. And by the way, we need more police officers who are gay and bisexual and lesbian. So, if you look how handsome this officer looks, that could be you in that uniform. So, please, take a good look. But our senior lead officer, Chad Costello, give it up for him. And Sergeant Michael Lockett. Is Sergeant Lockett here too? Yeah? Right here, right behind. Thank you, Sergeant Lockett, as well. I want to thank Ken Bernstein too, who's the director of our Office of Historic Resources, who helped make this go through, and Margaret Geisinger and Edgar Garcia as well. Thank you guys for making this happen. And somebody who's well known in Silver Lake at some of these bars, Glenn Dake, somebody who used to work for me but is now a commissioner for cultural heritage, for helping shepherd this through as well. Thank you to Glenn as well.
Hey Glenn!
And lastly, Mitchell Carroll, deputy right here and district director. I'm going to toss this aside and cut my speech short, but let me just say one other thing. I worked with a number of you, Mickey and others, on making sure Los Angeles never forgets its history. From Morris Kite Square that we commemorated, from Block in Hollywood Boulevard, which was the first place anybody in Los Angeles had ever stepped off the sidewalk and onto the street to demand the same equality that everybody said America was supposed to stand for. From the many places, whether it's the Dyke March that we do here every year, whether it's making sure that LGBT includes every single letter, the transgender community that we do job resources there, to make sure discrimination is obliterated from the transgender community, to make sure that we get one step further. And I'm so pleased to see the blossoming of community organizing, because the Yes on 8 was just a momentary blip in our history.
That's right.
You can't stand in the way of love, you can't stand in the way of progress, but we will out-organize, and we will out-think, and we will outwork anybody who would put hate in the way of progress in Los Angeles, in California, in the United States, and in the world. When you celebrate the past, put yourself in the shoes of people. Just close your eyes for a second and imagine what it was like 42 years ago. It's tough for me. I just turned 38, but I can imagine. And close your eyes and imagine a time when just kissing was enough to land you in jail. When an LAPD officer wouldn't be here to assist, but probably be here to beat you up or to arrest you. When holding hands meant that you would get hunted down. When, by virtue of expressing the most noble and beautiful part of what makes us human, love, was seen as an act of hate and defiance. We have so much more work to do, but every single time you kiss someone, and every single time you hold their hand, and every single time that you reaffirm the commitment through marriage, I was so proud to marry 17 different same-sex couples this past year. That's what inspired me to finally get married too, because we held out a long time until there was marriage equality, and though we're not all the way there, we didn't have that excuse anymore. So, when every single time we bring love forward, we make a history that is the present today. And 42 years from now, we will look back and wonder, how could we ever live in a society that wasn't 100% equal? And who was it that brought us there? We might not remember the names then, but the West Joes of the world, the Mickey Jacksons of the world, the people from Christopher Street West and the people from La Barcito, the most noble and smallest acts are the ones that move this world. Thank you all for being a part of this. We know it's tough budget times, but we haven't fired the calligraphers. So we have, and I made sure these were signed by every single member of the City Council, by our Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, Wendy Gruhl, who is our Silver Lake resident, and our City Attorney Rocky Delgadillo. I'll show you one of them. Very beautiful, nice reframing. And I just want to read the names and ask folks to come up here because these are who we celebrate. These are our angels in the City of Angels. Alexei Romanov. Lee Glaze. And it's a good thing I almost wore that same outfit. Stuart Timmons. Stuart Timmons. Two more here, three more, excuse me. Lillian Federman. Yeah! Charles J. Fisher. And last but certainly not least, the most, West Joe.
Excuse me.
Okay, while we're doing the photos, give it up one more time for Eric Arcetti. So this night would not be possible without Lillian, Alexei, Lee, their incredible leadership. So we're going to take a few minutes and hear from them. So first up is Alexei.
Hello, all my brothers and sisters. Let's hear you. I just want to say, 42 years ago today, was one of the first demonstrations in the nation. I am so proud to still be standing here with so many of my brothers and sisters who have gone before me. There were names that I could name off for ages and never get to the end of the list. Now, all I can say to you is I'm passing the baton to you. The work is not finished. And I want to thank my lover and my husband that I married on August 8, 2008, David Ferrer, for backing me. And helping me do it.
Thank you, Alexi. And we're also giving him flowers, so you can give those to David when he gets home from Valentine's. So David, look at them now. If they're the same ones on Valentine's Day, you know where they came from. Now we want to hear from Lillian. Give it up for Lillian Fraser.
I know that Stuart Timmons, my co-author, would so much have wanted to be here tonight. Stuart had a stroke about a year ago, and he's been hospitalized ever since. I saw him today, though, and I told him about this evening, and I know Mark Thompson has also talked to him about this evening, and he really seems thrilled. He seemed to understand and to acknowledge how wonderful this is, and on behalf of him and myself, I want to thank all of you. When Stuart and I decided that we would write Gay LA, it was because Los Angeles gay history had been so ignored, and we knew that it was a revolutionary kind of history. We knew, for example, in the mid-1950s, gay people in Cooper's Donuts, when the police raided the place, they fought back. These drag queens fought back. And of course, we knew of the Black Cat and how important that was. And it was astonishing to us that the protests here happened 2.5 years before Stonewall. Stonewall has been called the hairpin drop heard round the world. But this was a pretty mighty hairpin drop as well. And when we wrote Gay LA, it wasn't that we wanted to suggest that Stonewall wasn't fabulous and New York wasn't fabulous. Of course it is. But Los Angeles is fabulous, and LA gay history is fabulous.
Yes, we are.
And I want to thank Wes Joe, who I know worked so hard to get this night organized and get the Black Cat honored. And of course, I want to thank very much the Los Angeles City Council for commemorating what happened here 42 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to introduce Lee Blaze, but he outdressed all of us, so So the man who doesn't look 42, who is an incredible leader in our community and shows up for everything, Lee Blaze.
Hello. As you can see, I like to blend in. Well, Troy Perry, who's over there, I wish you'd come up here, but Troy Perry, I had a little bar in Wilmington called The Patch, which... Are you old enough? Anyway, The Patch was in the incorporated city of Los Angeles. Now, the police commission board rule said that no two members of the same sex can dance together.
Right.
And I decided to go ahead and go dancing. And we had live bands, the PTA picketed us, the local teachers union picketed us, the musicians union picketed us, and the whole, everybody in the world picketed, and we picketed them right back. If they were outside, we were outside picketing them. And the police department, there was one night that they came into the bar, and the definitely changed, but one night the police department came into my bar en masse and arrested one guy that was over here and one guy that was over here. And started hauling him up. Now, one guy was Troy Perry's boyfriend, and the other partner was my future partner at Ciro's, which turned out to be the first gay dance bar in Hollywood. But anyway, Pastor and Ciro's, what a time. At any rate, they came into the bar and were just indiscriminate. I said, what'd they do? He said they were groping each other, and I said, what? Because I just seen him. I said, what do you have, a 20-foot dick? But anyway, they literally arrested him for grooming one another. Well, I was absolutely outraged, and being one that never been too bashful, I grabbed a hold of the mic, got my follow spot, stopped the band, and had to put the house lights up. And I said, you know, as far as the cops are concerned, just behave yourself. You know, as far as, they only had the legal right to ask their identification. You know, that was it. They were asking where they worked, what they did, and blah, 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 blah. And they were trying to intimidate them. And I kept telling the kids, I said, don't let those guys intimidate you. And I said, shame on you. There was also that was standing to my right, that was going like this with the baton. And I looked over and I said, you want to hit me or make love? But at any rate, they really did. They were just vicious and nasty in those days. And at any rate, they afterwards, I said, where are you taking my friends? They said, we're taking to Harvard Division LAPD. Where's that? So we found out where it was, and I thought, well, we got to storm the Bastille in style. So at any rate, I said, anybody in the place is a florist? I said, surely there's a florist in this place. So I told come to my wife, I said, honey, go down and help us, bring them all here. So we made the whole path. There was about 200-300 people in the bar that night, I think, Troy. At any rate, we made bouquets of flowers, lots of flowers, and we stormed the Bastille. En masse, we went right down to the Harbor Freeway, and boom, outside the LAPD. They got pictures. The desk sergeant that was there that was calling for reinforcements. I met him at one of the Pride Festival not long ago. And anyway, oh, he was behind the LAPD desk, you know, recuperating. But at any rate, no, recruiting. But at any rate, they just were shocked, you know, because there we were in mass with flowers. And Troy was there. There were lots of other people that were there that I wish the hell they were here to enjoy what we have today. At any rate, they're not. But it turned out to be a little on the famous side because it hadn't been done before. And I thought, what do you mean it hadn't been done before? But anyway, it hadn't been done. And we actually showed the police that we weren't afraid, that we happened to be a little queer, and we were going to stay right here. And some of us dressed a little wild, and some of us dressed in leather, but this is my form of dress. The baby ruined my hips. But at any rate, it changed a lot, and I really want to thank Troy Perry because he's been awfully kind to me, because Troy that night said that he was inspired to form MCC Church. So I'm really very grateful. He said that he had never seen anybody cuss back at the cops. And I did, in style. But at any rate, it showed that we weren't going to go anywhere. And as far as the police commission board rule, we appeared before the police commission, said you can't do that because only an elected official or appointed official, the Supreme Court said no. So they actually later dropped the thing after he took an injunction against the Beauchamp Ballet from appearing. It's a very long story. But at any rate, just now we can dance, we can do anything we want to in our bars. I'm thrilled that we can walk down the street holding hands, kissing each other, and do whatever we want to do, as long as it's not indecent. But at any rate, we can show our love to one another and in style and kiss each other and go for it. Anyway, love you all and
thank you.
See you later.
Are these guys amazing or what? So we have one more quick presentation. It was mentioned earlier that Stuart Timms can't be with us here tonight. So before I call Mark up, let's give a big shout out to Stuart. So wherever he is, he can hear us. So Mark, will you tell Stuart that hundreds of people tonight send their love to him, and a big shout out. So to represent Stuart, Mark Thompson.
Well, it's quite a story, but I'll be brief. But first, I just wanted to say how wonderful it is to see so many gentlemen dressed in black, and I don't mean the two nice people from MCC. So I've been a very close friend of Stuart's. I've been his editor. We've been colleagues. We have worked on previous history books. Some of you may know the book Long Road to Freedom.
Yes.
I first heard about the Black Cat riot from Jim Kepner in 1977, who was also a very good friend. And though I've never been in this place, it does feel like holy ground.
Yeah.
So let me tell you what happened to Stuart. A year and a month ago, those of us who are very close and loving friends of Stuart's found out that he had a massive stroke. He was rushed to Kaiser, almost lost his life. They had to take off half of his, big chunks of his skull. He's been unable to speak and hardly move. But there's been a really miraculous turnaround in the last few months. And that's because of friends of Stuart, friends such as Joe Becerra and David Bird and my partner Malcolm Boyd and so many others of you in this community who's given their love and their monetary contributions to him recovering. Stuart is truly going to be one of the lucky ones. I've never seen anyone who has suffered such damage come through it. So I'm going to open this because we're filming this, because he can see it. And we just got the trach out, and he's beginning to make vowel sounds, and he can move his arms, and his sister took him out just 2 weeks ago, and he saw the sky for the first time in over a year. Can you imagine? So Stuart, we love you. You're filming this because he's going to look at this at the laptop. We'll get this to him. Thank you all on behalf of Stuart Timmons. Oh, and Lillian, thank you too for writing a really magnificent book for all of us. Well, that's very sincere. And may there be many more books, because there are many more stories. Thank you and good night on behalf of
So Stuart, if you're out there, when you get better and you want to, we have a party right here for you, and we'll all be here to support you, okay?
Yeah.
So, we've got one more presentation. We've honored the city. We've honored the legwork of this community for making this place happen. But there is one group of people that don't always get recognized for making things like this happen. And that, of course, is the Los Angeles Cultural Heritage Commission. They're the ones who helped really make this happen, all right? So give it up. And, you know, those are those quiet heroes in the bathroom, taking care of things and making sure that gay history is recognized. So we have one of our commissioners from that Heritage Commission, and that is Commissioner Oz Scott, would like to address us. So give it up to Mr. Oz Scott.
And this is Commissioner Luella Louie. We really want to, we're thrilled that so many people are out here. We're thrilled that we can participate in the history of Los Angeles. And this is a very important designation for us. The community has to take responsibility for their history. We, representing the city, helping to determine the designations, we have to take responsibility. We have to thank West Joe for taking it upon himself to bring this to us. And that's really important. And everybody out there, there is more history than just the Black Cat. And we have to continue to find those places. A lot of times people think we just designate buildings. Yes, the architecture in this place is very interesting. But our cultural history is not just architecture, it is the people. And you are our history, and we have to recognize that. I want to thank Ken Bernstein. I want to make sure I have everybody down here. I want to thank Edgar Garcia. They're from the Office of Historic Resources. Guys, remember that, because I know that more people will be coming with more designations. Those are the people who recommend to us. Then we take it on ourselves and we do the research Actually, we read the research that they write out. And then we present it to the city council, who makes the final designation. But it doesn't start with us, it starts with the people of Los Angeles, and they are very important. There truly is a lot of misconception about historical designations. It is not just the building. I think there was a place we designated where the first Disney studio was.
Yeah.
That's an important place. There's certain places that are very important. This is a very important place, and I hope you all keep that in our history. And I'm not going to go any farther because there's a lot of stuff that's already been said, but the day, I guess the week that the designation came through was the week that Proposition 8 was voted down.
In.
So voted for, voted down. I'm sorry. It's so confusing. But we were trying, I think things are happening. Things are still happening. So, do you have anything to say?
Well, thank you all, and I want you to know that this is my territory. My mother used to market here at the Safeway store. And I grew up here.
So, a couple of quick things. I want to thank the club. This club, Barcico, who opened its doors, who invited us in. But I also want to do one other thing. There's been a lot of joy here today. I want to continue that, but I want to take a moment and remember those who aren't here with us, who gave of their life, of their time, and of their commitment so that we could be here tonight. To all those people who were here 42 years ago who may not be with us right now. We honor you. And we honor all those people that we have lost. But you know that we will never, ever forget you. Thank you, and good night.
We're archiving Silver Lake's history, and so this is part of it.
Okay.
And whoa, it's kind of dark in here. Sorry. This is Ken Bernstein, and could you just tell me briefly how you chose the black cat?
Well, it was chosen for us in a way by Wes Joe, who's a great Silver Lake resident, and we're so pleased that he brought us this nomination. It was a story I knew nothing about personally.
Is that right?
Until he brought it to us, and Wes and I had coffee over here at Sunset Junction one time last year, and he mentioned that he was thinking about bringing us a nomination. I certainly encouraged, when I learned more about the history, I certainly encouraged him to nominate it and bring it to the Cultural Heritage Commission. It's remarkable that this story while it might have been known, in the surrounding community, it was not well known beyond this community citywide, and that's really the power of historic preservation, historic designation, to identify and highlight important historic places and to help protect them. This is a bar that could easily be wiped away and redeveloped were it not for a historic designation like this. And the fact that we're going to have a physical presence of this place into the future, because it has been designated, really is an incredibly important step for Los Angeles.
Right. Well, thanks so much for your support.
Sure.
Couldn't happen without you. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Sister Margaret Snatcher with the Los Angeles Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence.
Great. Well, thank you. You look beautiful.
We're the 21st century nuns.
Bob Herzog, can you tell me what your connection with the Black Cat is?
Well, I used to come in here to get laid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it worked.
And I'm glad you came back.
Yeah, 25 years ago, I used to come in here on Sunday afternoons and do wonderfully bad stuff.
And you're still here.
I'm still here.
Okay. This is the cake for the celebration tonight.
we did a video of last night, and here are the flowers that were awarded to you.
Yeah, that's your bouquet.
And we're here today with Stuart and Joe Becerra and David Bird, and I'm Bob Herzog, and it is February 12th, 2009. And this is the award that was given to Stuart last night.
Is that beautiful?
Eric Garcetti made a comment that even though things are terrible, they haven't had to fire the calligrapher yet. Oh,
All the signatures.
Eric Garcetti was there, and some wonderful gay cops. And there were leather and bangles and glitter. It was really terrific.
And Lillian Federman,
yeah, she was.
Gave you accolades.
Yeah, she should.
Yeah, the old.
The least she could do. The least she could do. But anyway, there were wonderful people, and when we were talking about what had happened, and you got an enormous applause.
Oh, everyone! Yay!
Everybody just wishes you well and to be there for the next anniversary and to toast you. So we just had to come and tell you.
It's site number 930.
938 or something like that, but.
Oh yeah, the people from the history there, the civic.
Yeah, they made a crack about, usually it's about architecture, and then he kind of rubbed the creaky wall and said, well, this is interesting architecture. But, this is about the gays, and they're a different kind of architecture and cultural icon. And it was amazing to see Eric Garcetti there. He was so comfortable. He was just making jokes and
wonderful,
just
guy.
wonderful man, and he said that he knew of you, and that he was really pleased that he had so many friends here that were supporting him, and that you were a big part of it. So it was great. It was really wonderful. And David and I felt like we were in some kind of weird flashback. We don't go to bars, and it was so funny to be in a bar with all the barflies.
Cheryl,
that acid flashback.
Yeah.
Cheryl asked me if I remembered hanging out in the bar, and I said, yeah, I got laid a few times too.
Most people probably had in that bar when it was a black cat. Because I didn't realize they had put back the little silhouette of the black cat right on the sign. There's a black and white head there
the
now.
black cat's on the sign now.
Right above Barcito. Yeah, whatever it is.
El Barcito.
Yeah, it was amazing, honey. It was so amazing. Mark Thompson was there, and Malcolm, and Troy Perry. And
Mark was very eloquent on your part.
Yes.
Very eloquent. We have it on the.
Yeah.
You'll see the CD.
Yeah, we're gonna do a CD, and then we're gonna come here with whoever has the biggest computer, so that you can watch it. But we spoke to Gay this morning, and she's gonna come in on Sunday.
She's coming in Sunday.
She'll be here for like a whole week. So she threatened me to be doing your exercises because she's gonna get very sisterly. She said, warn you.
Yeah, she's gonna make you work.
Gay takes no prisoners. No prisoners. And she said to give you a big hug and kiss, and that she was very proud. So we're going to give this to her on Sunday. We're going to hang on to it. And actually, we're going to scan this and bring you a copy that you can just have here. I think this is so beautiful.
Don't you think? Wouldn't you like to have it on the wall?
We'll have a nice copy of it. And then Gay can get this framed for you.
Yeah.
And she'll hang on to it until you can have it yourself. But, honey, we're so proud.
Yeah.
We just felt so proud to I'm a footnote in your life, and I'm just thrilled.
Yeah.
Just thrilled. Just love you so much. And Mark Thompson has still got the cold that we've all had for like weeks. We've all been afraid to come by if we have any kind of cold. So I'm better, and Mark said as soon as he gets rid of his, he and Malcolm will come by for a long visit, but he's just terrified to come by because he's still hacking.
Yeah, he's had this cough for a long time.
Yeah. So,
since your birthday.
Yeah, Malcolm was just tickled pink. He just thought it was so fun to all be there. He said it just felt so gay.
But then Malcolm said, and it's 10 o'clock and I have to be in bed.
Not exactly the party animal he used to be.
Right.
But it was still fun. It was very, very fun. And I can't remember the man. You remember the man who had the spangled suit on? He also got one of these citations, and I don't remember his name, but he just had head to toe sequins, a red and pants shirt,
pants,
and top that were all red sequins, and then a jacket that was multicolored mosaic.
Eric Garcetti said, "I'm glad I didn't wear that same outfit which I have in my closet."
Said, "I almost wore that same outfit. I'm glad I didn't."
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, you didn't want to have a bitch fight right there at the bar. And Cheryl got some nice videotaping of people and their comments, and a lot of the people from one of the clubs, the Avatar Club, were all there. All the ones in leather, they were all part of that Avatar Club, because I know some of them. And they were, it was nice.
You know Ron, I can't think of his last name. He's tall, he's my height. Ronnie, I can't think of his last name.
A big guy? Kind of a big guy?
No, he's slim, but he's tall.
Oh, no, I don't remember. There was a big guy there, but he was kind of big all over.
I can't remember his last name. I've known him for 25 years.
Yeah.
But he's part of the whole leather group.
Oh, yeah. No, I know Tom and Carlos and George Wong. George Wong was there, you know, so it was great. It was an amazing, you know, accumulation of people and their parents and gay cops.
Gay cops were there.
Because they were, you couldn't really distinguish them from the leather phony gay cops.
Well,
I thought they were all phony.
There's a great shot in here that Cheryl took of that little corporal, the LAPD officer, kind of a cute little guy, and there are these big leather guys all
around
standing
him.
behind.
Yeah, and he was the real cop.
He was the real
He was the real cop, and he was the nihilist. It was very funny. It was very, very funny. So anyway, hon, we're just so proud of you. You've really earned this. And it's beautiful work. I mean, it's just
it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, the image and all the gold leaf and the calligraphy.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're just very proud.
Anything more you want to say before I...
No, I think
just
that we love him so much. You know, that it's an amazing, amazing accomplishment.
And you would love the party.
Yeah.
It was your kind of party.
Yeah, it's a huge gab fest.